The Berlin Wall falls, 1989, the end of a divided Europe. For nearly 3 decades, the Berlin Wall was more than just concrete and barbed wire. It was the ultimate symbol of division, separating East and West Germany both physically and ideologically. Built in 1961 by the German Democratic Republic (GDR), the wall was designed to stop East Germans from fleeing to the more prosperous West. Families were torn apart, dreams shattered, and for years, an oppressive sense of separation loomed over Berlin. Then, on November 9, 1989, everything changed. The unthinkable happened. The Berlin Wall fell, and with it, the division of Germany came to an end. How it all started. To understand the significance of this moment, we have to go back to the Cold War. After World War II, Germany was divided into 4 occupation zones controlled by the U.S., Britain, France, and the Soviet Union. The ideological split between the Western Allies and the Soviet Union soon turned into a geopolitical standoff. By 1949, Germany had been officially divided into 2 separate nations: the democratic, capitalist West Germany, Federal Republic of Germany, and the communist East Germany, German Democratic Republic. As life in the West flourished under economic recovery and democratic governance, the East struggled under Soviet-imposed policies. As a result, millions of East Germans sought a better life in the West. The mass exodus became an embarrassment to the Soviet-backed GDR, leading them to take drastic action. In the early hours of August 13, 1961, construction began on the Berlin Wall, trapping East Germans inside their own country. Life behind the wall. Life in East Germany was bleak compared to the booming economies of the West. The GDR was a tightly controlled state with strict surveillance, heavy censorship, and a powerful secret police known as the Stasi. Anyone suspected of disloyalty was at risk of imprisonment, interrogation, or worse. Meanwhile, West Berlin became a beacon of hope, with its free press, consumer goods, and vibrant cultural life. Families were separated, friends lost touch, and those who attempted to cross the wall faced dire consequences. Some succeeded in escaping, but many were caught or shot by border guards. The wall was reinforced with guard towers, minefields, and security measures to prevent any chance of escape. The tide begins to turn. By the late 1980s, cracks began forming in the iron grip of communist rule across Eastern Europe. Soviet leader Mikhail Gorbachev introduced reforms like glasnost, openness, and perestroika, economic restructuring, signaling a shift in Soviet policies. These reforms encouraged democratic movements in satellite states, weakening the tight control of communist governments. Mass protests erupted across Eastern Europe, demanding change. In East Germany, the pressure was mounting as thousands took to the streets, chanting for freedom and reform. By the fall of 1989, the GDR leadership was struggling to maintain control. The night the wall fell. On November 9, 1989, an East German official mistakenly announced in a press conference that citizens would be allowed to cross the border freely. The announcement was vague and misinterpreted as an immediate change in policy. Within hours, thousands of Berliners swarmed the checkpoints, demanding passage to the west. Confused and overwhelmed, border guards, unsure of what to do, finally relented. Crowds surged forward, climbing the wall, celebrating, and chipping away at the concrete that had divided their lives for nearly 3 decades. The scenes of people embracing, crying, and tearing down the wall with their own hands became some of the most iconic moments in history. The aftermath and reunification. The fall of the Berlin Wall was more than just a physical demolition. It marked the beginning of German reunification and the eventual collapse of the Soviet Union. Within a year, East and West Germany officially became one nation again on October 3, 1990. The reunification process wasn't easy. East Germany's economy was weak, and the transition to a capitalist society was challenging. However, with time and effort, Germany emerged stronger, becoming one of the most powerful nations in Europe today. The fall of the Berlin Wall also signaled the end of the Cold War, reshaping global politics and inspiring democratic movements worldwide. The world had witnessed firsthand how the power of the people could overcome oppression and dismantle walls, both literal and ideological. A symbol of hope and freedom. Today, remnants of the Berlin Wall stand as a reminder of both division and unity. Tourists from all over the world visit the Berlin Wall Memorial, reading stories of those who fought for freedom. Every November 9th, Germany commemorates the night when ordinary people took history into their own hands and changed the world. The fall of the Berlin Wall remains one of the greatest examples of how perseverance, courage, and the desire for freedom can break down even the most formidable barriers. It's a powerful reminder that walls don't last forever, but the human spirit does.